This is a tutorial for House of the Rising Sun from The Joy of Boogie and Blues. This is a fun song, but it's got a lot of things to overcome when you're learning to play it. First and foremost, that left hand pattern. You're playing a D and then an A and then an F. The D and the F are a tenth apart, and that's not a comfortable reach for most people. So what I do, I pivot. I'm exaggerating a little bit. Use your wrist to pivot and take advantage of the damper pedal. And you can jump between the notes. The damper pedal sustains the notes, so you don't have a gap in between. But ultimately, really, the best way is pivot and use the damper pedal. On the second line, right under the word sun, this is the second to the last measure on the second line, you have a weird left-hand pattern where you play F, C with your 5-2, then you're going to go up to G with your thumb, and then you have to play an F underneath it. They want you to do that with your 4. No kidding. And then your 5 grabs the E. So your pattern looks like this. And then there's more. And then they want you to play C, B flat, A while you're holding the E still. So the whole thing looks like this. And notice I'm holding the E down. That's craziness. But it sure sounds good, and that's why they want you to do that. That is best learned slowly, and I would get my fingers used to it in 2 separate steps. So I would do this part first, and then add the top notes, okay? The right hand also presents a couple problems. On the word sun, you're playing an A and a C together, but notice that A is tied to the A in the next measure. And then underneath that, you have a C sharp and a G. No kidding. So you're going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So whatever you do, keep your pinky on that A. 2, 3, 2, 3. And notice how I just shifted forward with my hand. So those 2 measures, both hands have problems, but if you take your time with them and address the issues separately, it shouldn't be a problem for very long. The third line, on the word ruin, boy, that's a coincidence. You have a grace note, D, and then you're going to play the D and the F together. So you're going to go, let's see, fingering wise. So on the word bin, on the first measure of that line, you're playing an F and a D with your 1 and your 5. Then the word the on a D, I would put my 2 on that. And then on ruin, the part we were talking about, hit the D right before the F. So bin the ruin goes like this. And again, do that slowly and you'll be fine. Later on in that line, I'm going to play that line in its entirety, the third line, and listen to the harmony here in the left hand. I did it wrong. Doesn't that chord sound terrible on the word me? But it's correct. They want you to do a B natural. It resolves in the next measure. But don't let that awful sound on the word me throw you off. If you're playing a B natural, it's just right. So you will play that first page through the first ending and then bounce back to the third measure after the repeat where the word is sits. Okay. Second time through, you're going to play the second ending. The second ending has difficulties of its own. So the left hand, you've got that 10th again, that D, A, F, and you're going to do that the same way you've always done it. But then you're going to play another D with your fifth finger, and then play an A and a C on top of that. No kidding. That's craziness. In the very last measure, you also have some grace notes, and then you end on a D. So you're going to play those frilly little grace notes all by themselves, but you're going to keep the F and the A down, and then you're going to change the F into a D. So the D is where you're going to sit. So the second ending. And don't worry about keeping the speed up. I think it's appropriate to slow down at the ends of songs for expression purposes. It is also appropriate to slow down on the second line where you're playing through Rising Sun and all of that craziness there. It sounds nice and beautiful and expressive. I'm going to start at Call the Rising Sun, second line. See, doesn't that sound nice, slowed down? So you can use that to your advantage when there's scary things going on in your music. I hope this helps. Have fun playing this one.